Well, welcome to a special 1,000 Guineas edition of Te Akau TV. It's the 50th running of the race this weekend, and Reese is down joining us live there from Riccarton. How are you, Reese?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Hazy. How's it going?
Not too bad. How's the week been?
Yeah, it's been good. The weather's been lovely. It's been nice and warm, and the horses are doing really well down here.
Fantastic. Well, I guess the wind's blowing there today. The track's currently a soft 5, so we can expect some drying over the next. Assume they put a bit of water on down there, and we can expect probably running somewhere within the dead to good range.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be firm again. It was firm the first 2 days. You can't help it. You can't really irrigate the Riccarton track when it's so windy. So it is what it is. But yeah.
Great. And just a quick wrap up on the, I guess, the 1,000 Guineas from a Te Akau perspective in the past. So, of course, the Perfect Pink won the race there with Opie Bosson on board last year. And prior to that, Karma Lass, Risque, Costa Viva, King's Rose, and Association have all claimed 1,000 Guineas honours. And we'll be hoping either one of Romancing the Moon or One Kiss can add to that tally tomorrow. But I guess there's a $1.40 favourite in that race, and she's going to be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen her all week as well, and she looks great. King Kelso can train a great filly, and we're going to do our best to beat her.
Absolutely. Well, I guess just quickly looking at the week that's been, we kicked off there with a winner at Te Rapa on Saturday in the first or second race there, the 2-year-old race with Viva Vienna. She went really well.
Yeah, it was a really good effort from her. Dave paid $100,000 for it off Westbury at the sales this year, and it was a great ride by Warren Kennedy. It was good to get a new bloke on the ranks in the Tangerine Silks and getting one home. So yeah, she can go on with it. She'll head to Wellington for the Group 2 Wakefield, and she'll be competitive in that.
And of course, Mark Walker tipped that as the best bet of the weekend there last weekend. So well done to him and the viewers that followed him there. And then just the one winner there at Riccarton on Saturday in the Metropolitan over 2,500 metres. It was Campionessa. Nice to see Joshua Parr get his first winner in the Tangerine.
Yeah, it was a freak ride as well. He spoke to Opie the night before, and he said it'll need all his help, and he sure gave it. And there's no reason why she can't kick on and win some nice races through the summer and autumn.
Great. And Pukekohe there on Tuesday, we had Inca Bell win the first race there for Fortuna.
Yeah, there was a nice ready to runner that Dave brought for John Galvin for 50,000, and there's plenty in store for her because she jumped slow and was really green, so she'll only improve off that, and there's no reason why she can't go on with it.
And Alawinda backed up her 2 seconds there with a victory there for Mapley Stud.
Yeah, it was really good to see that. It's good form for Romancing the Moon. We've nominated her for the Stella Artois series over the summer period, and there's no reason why she couldn't be winning a race like that. She's got plenty of upside.
And then, of course, across to Riccarton there on Wednesday, we saw Sky on Fire take out a Te Akau trifecta there in the Welcome Stakes.
Yeah, it was lovely to see her when she's been a bit stiff not to win her first 2. She's a filly that Dave paid a lot for at the Magic Millions, 400,000, and we've always had a big opinion of her, and it was great to see her win that. And Josh Parr just loves her.
Great, and of course the other 2 there went well as well. So that was Rubicon Crossing and Rhetorical running second and third. And then we wrapped up the week there on Thursday yesterday at Woodville with Believe in Magic.
Yeah, she was wonderful to get a win with her too. Obviously did a lot wrong on debut at Whangarei, and she was a filly that Dave paid 200,000 for off Westbury as well. So it was great to get a good result for Westbury as well because they support Te Akau stable. And yeah, there's no reason why she can't go on with it as well.
Fantastic. And let's kick off the racing there at Riccarton tomorrow and race through the Dankins Group Premier 2,000 metres. We have got Invincible, who I saw was nominated there on Wednesday, runs there tomorrow for drawn barrier 11 with 57.5 kilos and Joshua Parr on her back.
Yeah, at first last weekend I was a bit disappointed on face value, but I went back and reassessed it, and she got back and got wide, and it was very hard to make ground there on Saturday. It was very firm, but she's come through the run very well, and we've drawn Sticky Gate again, but I think getting up to 2,000 will be ideal. And Josh wasn't disappointed with her first up. He just said, forget about it. It was a hard track, and we got back. There's no reason why she can't bounce back here.
Fantastic. And then moving down to the Group 1 feature race of the day, the Race 7, the Barneswood Farm 50th New Zealand 1,000 Guineas. It's for the 3-year-old fillies, set weight conditions over 1,600 metres. We've got One Kiss, drawn barrier 7 with Michael McNabb on board.
Takes a very good horse to win a stakes race as its first race, and she did it. Obviously, a lot went wrong last start. We've given her time to get over that. We've given her 4 weeks, and she had a nice bit of work on 2,000 Guineas Day between races, and Michael was very complimentary of her. And then Josh came in on Tuesday and galloped her at Riccarton, and he was very happy.
Great. And Romancing the Moon, they're drawn barrier 1 with Joshua Parr on board with 56.5 kilos.
Yeah, I was driving to the races with Josh on Wednesday, and I told him we've drawn 1, and a big smile on his face. He was thrilled with that. There's no reason why she can't bounce out, be in the first 3 or 4. She's a real racehorse. She tries hard every time, and I think she can give Legato a good run for her money.
Well, she almost did their last start, running second there in the soliloquy. So here's hoping, and good luck to those owners and connections with runners in the Group 1 racing there tomorrow. Moving down the page, we're at race 8, the Avon City Ford Premier, rating 82 benchmark, 2,500. We've got Illicit Miss, drawn barrier 6 with Craig Girls on board.
Yeah, it's good getting up to 2,500 with a good draw. She won't spend much petrol from there, and the first run on the first day was unbelievable. She was really running home good, and Grillsy was very complimentary of her, and I expect her to be right in the thick of it at the end.
And race 9 there, the Group 3 Lindau Stewart Stakes. This was taken out last year by a Te Akau runner. I believe it might have been Summer Monsoon. We've got Burgundy Rose, drawn barrier 10 with Joshua Parr on board.
Yeah, the field fell away a bit. On Friday when the noms came out, I thought we were going to be a really big hope here with 57.5 kgs. We've ended up being top weight winners and ideal because she's not the biggest horse in the world. We've drawn Awkward as well, but look, she tries hard every time she comes to the races, and Josh had the choice between the riders and he chose her, which gives us a bit of confidence.
And Challa there with some early good South Island form. They were chalking up 2 wins earlier in the preparation. Drawn barrier 7 with Sam Spratt on board.
Yeah, he really fought hard on the first day, just fell in the hole the last 100. He just wasn't left alone at all out in front like he likes to do, but going through the form of this race, I think we can. And if he got away with a few cheap sectionals, Sam Spratt will be the ideal rider for that, and there's no reason why he couldn't kick and win.
Great. In race 10, the Vernon and Vasey Truck Parts Premier, rating 75 benchmark. We've got Navalha for Fortuna Racing, drawn barrier 12 with Joshua Parr on board.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky on the first day over 14. I think getting him up to a mile is really going to be ideal for him, and we've only drawn fairly, but look, he'll get back midfield somewhere, but there's no reason why he couldn't win it.
Great. And moving down to race 11, the Group 3 Martin Collins 159th New Zealand Cup, over 3,200 metres. We've got leaderboard for Fortuna. I think he ran 2nd or 3rd in this race last year.
Yeah, he ran 3rd, and look, his form was much the same this time last year. He was going very poorly into the race, and look, we're going to have to find a couple of links, but Mark's been really jumping him and changing everything with his training regime. And he's really sparked up. Like, he'll be the best looking horse at the races all day. He looks great. So if he was to win it, it wouldn't surprise us, but he still would need to find a couple of links.
Great. In race 12, the Spates Summit Ultra Premier, rating 65, benchmark 1,400. We've got Image of You, drawn barrier 1 with Joshua Parr on board.
Yeah, she was great first day. 1,200 was always going to be a bit short, but we set her for this race on the last day of the carnival, and Josh was very complimentary of her, and I think getting in the 1,400 will make her a really top chance, and I find it very hard to see her getting beaten.
Well, that's a big wrap. There you go. And then moving across to Tauranga there on Saturday, we kick off in race 1, the Bailey's Bay of Plenty 3-year-old. Under set weight and penalties conditions over 1,400 metres. We've got Lord Cosmos, drawn barrier 7 with Joe Cameron on board. Yeah,
look, he's the only stakes winner in the field, which means he's the best horse in the field, doesn't it? The wet track won't suit him at all, but he's going well. He only trialled fair. He didn't have the hood on. As soon as he gets the hood on, he knows it's race day and he'll be ready to go.
And Kabugi bet some talented gallopers there at Rotorua there after, I believe, the Levermore weekend on the Sunday. Drawn barrier 8 with Vinnie Colgan on board.
Yeah, I have a very high opinion of this horse. He's a winner, and he's drawn probably an ideal place for what's going to be a heavy track, and he's trialled well on a heavy track at Tauranga, and I don't see him getting beat again.
Fantastic. And race 4, the O'Connor Warren Insurance Brokers Handicap, rating 75, benchmark 1200. We've got last season's Kraken Million 3-year-old winner. First up for her new campaign there, drawn barrier 4 with Joe Cameron on board. Pin me up.
Yeah, she's a class mare. It's obviously a very strong field. She's placed on soft ground, so if she runs, she's not the worst on that type of going. But look, she'll be running home late. When she gets over a bit more of a trip is when she'll be winning.
And race 5, the Ixom Handicap, rating 65, benchmark 1200. Another who I thought ran on quite nicely from the back of the field there last start, Kai, with Joe Cameron on board, drawn barrier 11.
Yeah, she's probably drawn to advantage again if it's going to be wet, and she always comes to the races and tries. She just keeps stepping up every time she goes to the races, and yeah, she'll run well again for sure.
Great. And Luxuriant, drawn barrier 12 with Vinnie Colgan on board.
Yeah, she likes the wet ground, this horse, and she's probably drawn to advantage, and Vinny's the right man to have in the saddle for this type of day, and she'll be running home again late and should be definitely a top 4 chance.
Great. And race 6, the Laser Plumbing Waihi Beach Handicap, rating 65, benchmark 2100. We've got Fierce Flight, drawn barrier 7 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, he won very well last start at Tauranga over the same distance, and he meets a similar bunch again. So the wet track will probably trip him up a bit. So whether we scratch him and wait for another week, I'm not sure. But if he goes, he'll be competitive for sure.
And race 7, the Snow Williams Bailey's Country Open, open handicap 1400. Brando ran a couple of head scratches there early on in the season, has won a trial and comes in here with a pretty heavy weight, but has the apprentice claiming 3, Yuto Kamagi, on board.
Yeah, things just didn't go to plan last start at Rotorua. He pulled a bit hard with the hood on, hence why we've put a shadow roll on him, and he tried very well at Matamata with it. We were very impressed with him, and doesn't mind the wet. He ran third in this race actually last year on a heavy 10. He probably should have won it. He was very unlucky. He is a class horse, and I can see him bouncing back.
Great. And another class horse lining up here in race 8, the Group 2 Gartshaw Tauranga Stakes, weight for age over 1600. We've got Predefer, drawn barrier 9 with Joe Cameron on board, backs up there from the Levermore a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's a proper 1600 metre horse. He's full of class, and he's obviously the best horse in the race. The wet track is a bit of a concern there, but we'll try our best, and he'll try.
Great. And the horse that won the 1,000 guineas here on this day last year, the Perfect Pink, drawn barrier 7 with 57 kilos and Warren Kennedy on board.
Yeah, obviously Group 1 winning miler, ran very well late, first up at Te Rapa, and yeah, I expected her to run very well because she handles soft ground as well. So yeah, I'm expecting a big effort from her.
Fantastic. And I guess just a word of keeping an eye out on the weather forecast there as the east coast of the North Island gets hammered by this rain. And Tauranga is obviously not too far away from the Coromandel Peninsula there. So just keep an eye out tomorrow morning on scratchings and obviously track and weather conditions as well, Reece.
Yeah, 100%. If that rain comes and that track gets near heavy, we won't have many there.
Great. And moving across to Hastings there on Sunday, we kick off in race 2, the Farmers Transport Hatuma Line 3-year-old maiden. It's a maiden 3-year-old race over 1,300 metres. We've got Family Ties, the filly by Contributor, drawn barrier 6 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, she brings great form into this race. Wild Knight won the race, and he's obviously kicked on and won at Matamata and then won the Saturn Memorial. And Mr. Mojo Rising has run second in the Hawke's Bay Guineas. So she's got the right form to win this race. And yeah, I'm expecting a very big effort from her.
And race 3, the Bailey's Best Travel Maiden, maiden 1,400. We've got a Spiritus, drawn barrier 7 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, he's been a bit disappointing since his freshen up in these last couple of runs, but we've changed a few things with him, and Mark's really sparked him up, and the sidewinkers go on, and I'm expecting a very big effort from him.
And down to race 4, the Awasi Handicap, rating 65, benchmark 1,200. We've got the Japanese bred mare Hayati, drawn barrier 3 with Craig Grills on board for Fortuna Racing.
Yeah, she's been a bit of a headache this preparation because we know the ability's there, and she's drawn a good gate. good rider. She trialled well last week at Matamata. I think she can bounce back here.
Great. And another horse that looks to have found his grade here in the Groundworks Plus Limited CHB Cup, rating 75, benchmark 1200. Lightning Field gets the benefit of a 1 kilo claim there, 60 down to 59 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, Joe gets on with him really well, and we've just freshened him since his first up disappointment run. We've had a few niggling issues with him, but we've got on top of them now, and the team at Colt Barn have done well to get him back to the races this quick. So, yeah, I'm really expecting a big effort from him.
Great. And race 6, the CHB Ram Breeders' Maiden 1600. Was that the right one? Yes, it's business time there for Windsor Park Stud. The Turn Me Loose mare, drawn barrier 11 with Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, she showed a lot of ping out of the gates at Matamata the other day for Jason, and he was very happy with her. And he said as soon as she gets to a mile, she'll be a really top winning chance. So I'm expecting a very big effort. The wet track will be a big question mark for her, but look, off her first run, getting up to a mile should be a very competitive chance.
Great. And race 7, the Akau New Zealand Limited Waipukurau Cup, rating 75, benchmark 1600. We've got Shepherd's Delight, another who placed in the 1,000 Guineas last year, drawn barrier 3 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, and she's going very well with preparation, and she's been in strong form races and been running well. So getting to that mile on probably a wet track won't be ideal for her, but she tries hard and she'll be very competitive in that.
And La Flora Bell, last start winner, drawn barrier 9 with Lisa Allpress on board.
Yeah, she was dominant win at New Plymouth last start, and Lisa was very keen to stick with her. I know that she turned down a lot of rides to ride her, so we're very happy about that. And she's drawn a bit awkward, but she's got plenty of gate speed, so she should overcome that pretty easily. And I think she could be a winning chance again.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. That wraps up our runners for the weekend. Do we have a best bet, Reese?
I think Kabuji and race 1 at Tauranga is going to be very, very hard to beat.
Fantastic. And just, I guess, for some of the owners out there, from a racing manager perspective, who's going to be on course at Tauranga and Riccarton for any owners to meet up with?
So Mark Walker will be on course at Tauranga tomorrow, and Ashley Hanley will be there as well, and they will be happy to talk to any owners at any time. And then at Riccarton, Dave, Karen, and myself will be here, and we'll be floating around everywhere. I'll be around where the pre-race drinks are before each of our runners. So if anyone's there, come and have a talk. And
the great tipping man Sam Burgesson will be down there as well, I believe. So keep an eye out for him if you want any bully on course. So that wraps up the runners for the weekend there. And I guess a look ahead to next week. We've got some pretty good racing there at Counties on Saturday. I think there's a handful of listed Group 3 and Group 2 races. And, of course, we have the New Zealand Bloodstock Ready to Run sale there on Wednesday and Thursday, of which David Ellis, Mark Walker and Karen Fenton Ellis will all be attending and will be active buying the next Te Akau Shark or Ginger Nuts, hopefully. So keep a lookout for that, and the host of young horses that will be hitting the website and ready for investment there next week as well. So good luck to all runners and connections this week, and we'll catch you again next week.